Hello, my name is Voya and welcome to My Deep Guide. This is a support video for My Daily Organizer users. Since My Daily Organizer came out back in April, I was collecting feedback from users and what are the most common problems, all in the hope of creating a Q&A or questions and answers resource where users can actually come and check out and basically find their issue and find a solution to some of the most common issues. So these are collected and I'm going to cover the general issues and platform specific issues for Remarkable, Boox and Supernote. So let's begin. First, I'm going to cover most common general issues and questions regarding the My Daily Organizer. And the most common question would be, how do I install or /copy My Daily Organizer onto my device? Well, this has been answered as there is a dedicated video that actually describes in detail how to copy and install My Daily Organizer, which is incidentally just a PDF file. So no installation is needed. You just need to use your standard procedure of how you transfer PDF files from a computer onto your device. And default installation instructions have been provided for all platform combinations so that you can find your case scenario there and know how to do this. So check out the description of this video below and you will see the link to the My Daily Organizer installation instructions video. Click there and you will find the instructions there. Another question that pops up regularly is, do I need to buy it every year or do I just buy it once and then it's updated for life? Well, My Daily Organizer is a per year product, per calendar year product. So that means that there will be a new version which is treated as a new product for every new year. This is not an app that you just update. This is a PDF that is handmade from scratch every single time with improvements and updates and new functionalities and things like that. Pretty much like a physical yearly organizer is. So yeah, it's a per calendar year product, no subscriptions, nothing like that. You just buy the version you want for that year, and if you want to continue using it for the next year and you like the features that have been added for the next year, then you buy it again. And important note, existing customers get a substantial discount as a thank you. Can I synchronize MDO with Google Calendar or some other calendar service? The answer is no, because My Daily Organizer is a PDF document with hyperlinks, nothing more, nothing less. It's not an app, and as such, it doesn't have a way to interface or communicate with these services or platforms. What is the difference between Cover 1, Cover 2, and Cover 3 versions of the MDO? Absolutely nothing except the cover. So you have 3 versions of the same exact file. It just has 3 different cover designs so that you can choose which one you like. Is there an educator version of the MDO that respects the school year start and end? Unfortunately, at the moment, no. This is something that's on my radar, but since I'm just a single person and this involves a tremendous amount of work, and I also have a lot of obligations with clients and my own projects and all of these, and teaching as well, there's only one of me and only a certain amount of hours that I can dedicate to each of the projects. And unfortunately, at the moment, I don't have a capacity to tackle this one as well. However, as I said, it is on my radar and I'm kind of lurking and seeing like when an empty opportunity arises that then I can actually tackle that one. So there are some ideas definitely for that one, how to make it good, but at the moment, no. Is there a version of MDO 2021 that has all of the updates and improvements that MDO 2022 brings? Answer is no, because it's the 2021 version, so the improvements and the upgrades are on the 2022 version only. Can I add or delete pages on My Daily Organizer? The answer is no. In version 2021, you are physically stopped by password protection. Version 2022 is unlocked to allow using the device on unsupported platforms as well, such as iPad or Android or things like that. And there, physically, you will be able to delete or add a page, but understand perfectly well that as soon as you do, you will break the entire document. And as such, nope, that is not supported. Nope, you're not supposed to do that. So no, you're not allowed or supposed to add or delete pages on the MDO. Can I modify the content of the pages on the MDO? Nope. By the copyright licensing agreement that is included for use of MDO, you are not allowed to modify the original content in any way, shape, or form. Does MDO work on iPads and Androids? Those are not officially supported platforms. However, it can work, but it depends on the app that you're using and the quality of the functionality and just how it works. It will entirely depend on the app that is used. And that is the primary reason why I don't consider these as officially supported platforms, because then I would have to have like an infinite amount of cases where, for app 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it actually basically turns into app support type of a thing, which is something that I don't have capacity to do. So no, officially iPad and Android tablets are not supported, but from version 2022, you are able to copy and use it in most of the scenarios, and you can see that in the original MDO 2022 announcement video. Just look up the iPad chapter and you'll see how it works and how it behaves. And now on to the platform-specific questions and answers. And we start with the Remarkable platform, because that one has actually most users and most questions. My links are not responding. I keep doing things, but nothing is happening. Help. This is a very common question that I keep getting, especially from Remarkable users. And there are a couple of factors that you have to take into consideration if you encounter a situation that you find that your the hyperlinks are not responding, or as it's characterized, it's not working. It is working, it's just that it's one of these four things, and most usually these are the common culprits. So quite a few Remarkable users, especially the new ones, they tend to try and trigger hyperlinks via the pen, and they say, hey, nothing is happening, I just leave markers. Well, that's because Remarkable as a platform doesn't react to pen to actually interpret it as a touch. So you have to use a touch to trigger a hyperlink function so that you can actually activate it. So the pen will never work, and the pen will never trigger a hyperlink on a Remarkable platform. You always have to trigger the hyperlinks with a touch. Now, the second category is people who say like, I'm doing the touch thing, but it's not responding at all. Well, the first thing that I would say is make absolutely sure that you are using the correct version of the MDO. 2021 or 2022 doesn't matter, but it has to be the Remarkable version, because the Boox and the Supernote versions simply will not work on Remarkable. So that's your number one thing, to make absolutely certain that the document that you are using is the Remarkable. The easiest way to check, of course, is the name of the document, or you can also easily see it by having this adequate amount of space that accommodates the Remarkable toolbar. Another very common cause for misinterpreted touch gestures, inconsistent touch gestures, or no interpretation of touch gestures is something that's common for any PDF file on a Remarkable platform. And these are these two things to keep in mind. So if I hold my pen very, very close to my finger, as you can see here, and I try to trigger any of the hyperlinks, the Remarkable will not respond. It will not respond because it is detecting the proximity of the pen. And the moment the device detects proximity of the pen, it is disabling the touch. So I can demonstrate that by starting to write. And as long as I'm writing, it will not react. This is because the Remarkable knows, hey, you're writing, therefore I don't want to flip pages, I don't want to do anything, and I don't want to, therefore triggering hyperlinks is not going to be possible. That's simply how the device works. So you have to keep in mind that when you are touching the, or trying to trigger the hyperlinks, that you are not in, let's say, this situation. A lot of people I've seen are doing this, which says like, oh, my pen is nowhere near my finger. No, it's not. It's nowhere near your finger, but it is quite near the screen over there. And therefore, it is again overriding the touch there we go. I managed to make it move. So just keep in mind that you keep this pen further away from the surface of the screen, and you won't have a problem with the touch gestures being detected or triggering the hyperlinks. And the final one that I see also people doing is like, I don't have my pen anywhere. It's really super high, and then I just try to trigger, but I can't really trigger anything normal. So what I'm doing right now is this. I don't need to have a pen, but I have contact with my palm. My entire palm has contact with the rest of the device here, and the palm rejection is now the one that's important. This means that the gesture detection is going to be extremely erratic and unpredictable. As you can see, some of them, maybe occasionally, I will trigger a hyperlink, but as long as your finger or your palm is planted on the surface of the screen, the palm rejection will interfere with the correct interpretation and correct detection of your gestures. So if you are encountering some of these issues, such as it's not reacting to my touch input or something like that, these are the most likely culprits, and these are the most likely situations that I've actually seen happen over and over again. And hopefully this actually helps you a little bit. So what can you do to avoid this? Well, don't keep your palm on the screen when you're interacting with the hyperlinks. This applies to any document. So let's now just pull up a different document just to prove a point. So this is a different PDF here that has hyperlinks as well, right? So we can actually demonstrate the same thing. Let's put the same thing here, very close to the surface with the pen. The hyperlink doesn't work. If I keep my palm on the screen and I try to initiate the hyperlinks, it doesn't work. So this is nothing to do with the MDO as itself. This is simply how Remarkable functions as a platform. So if you are going to use hyperlinks as a function, you have to basically obey the rules that this device requires for the hyperlinks to functions. The rules are simple. Keep the tip of your pen away. The hyperlinks cannot be triggered by the pen, only by the touch. And keep away your palm away from the surface of the screen if you want reliable kind of functionality of the hyperlinks. If you do those things, you will not have issues at all. And of course, like the first and foremost, double check that you are using the correct version of the MDO for your platform. And the last culprit, which is much, much more rare, but it has happened several times, especially for those who are enrolled in a beta program, is that, of course, beta software is never going to be supported by MDO or by me, because beta is software in development, right? So software in development is there for testing, detecting programs and problems and fixing them. And as such, it is an unfinished platform. So only the finished version and official releases will be supported by me and the MDO. Nevertheless, people did experience problems such as they would update to a beta version, then suddenly the gesture detection was really wrong. There were two categories of that. Category number one, a simple restart of the device or a factory reset was enough to actually kind of reboot the device and allow it to have normal gesture detection again. But a couple of cases happened, but they did happen where even the factory reset didn't work. And then, I recommend that you contact the customer support and see what's going on, because then maybe it's a hardware issue of some sort, that the touch is not recognized in a correct way. However, before you do that, please check all of the other options and make sure that you're using the correct version, that you're tapping correctly and trying to use it in the correct way. My written strokes disappear after I change the page. So I write something, change the page, and then go back and my strokes are gone. What's going on? This is another question which, again, has nothing to do with MDO. It has generally to do with how PDFs and how Remarkable works as a platform. So in order to reproduce this, I have to write a stroke and then immediately try to trigger a hyperlink without allowing the device to actually process the stroke that I had. And now when I go back, well, I wasn't quick enough, so I have to be even faster. It's somewhat difficult to reproduce, but I am able to reproduce it. It's just I'll need to use two fingers here. Okay, so I go back, and now I go back, and the stroke disappeared, right? So I write the stroke and immediately go, I was too slow. But now if I allow the time and I go to actually a hyperlink and go back, the stroke will be here. So all that's happening if you are experiencing this kind of thing, hey, I write it and occasionally a stroke disappears, well, all that's happening is that you are not allowing enough time to pass after you've finished writing the stroke and triggering a hyperlink. Now, as you can see, it only happens if you are super duper fast. So in majority, why do users actually notice it on MDO? Well, because in a regular document, you are not going to be in a situation that often that you're gonna write something down and then immediately tap on it to actually go to another page, and there we go, manage to actually reproduce it. And not allow the device to process the stroke and actually store it onto the page. Whereas if I actually write a stroke, allow for 1-2 seconds, and then just tap on it and go back, the stroke will be there. Number 2, and then just allow 1 or 2 seconds, even though this was very fast, but it still was allowed. It's only if you're super duper fast and you allow less than 2 seconds to pass between you finishing a stroke and initializing changing of a page, because that's what the hyperlink does. You're just telling Remarkable, hey, now go to this page, but he doesn't have a function or a failsafe to tell you, okay, I'll go there, but let me first finish this stroke. That's what the Remarkable software is supposed to do. It's actually supposed to schedule the page flip, but it's not doing it. So it's a problem with the software again. But yeah, that's nothing new with that. So in reality, what it should do is finish current operation and then schedule it once the current operation is finished. Then you wouldn't have this problem. So technically, this is a bug, but you should be aware of it. And just to prove for those who are also saying, oh, it's because it's a really heavy document. No, not really. You can reproduce the same exact behavior on any PDF if you're fast enough. So let me try and be very, very fast. So I have a stroke here and then try to get to a hyperlink and go back, and presto, the stroke is magically gone. So exactly the same behavior on any kind of document. The only thing that's happening is that the stroke command has not been finalized, and the change page command has effectively canceled it before the stroke was completed. That's all that's happening. So you should be aware of that. Simply allow 1 to 2 seconds after you've done writing, and you will not encounter this problem, as you can see here. So we can go back, and as is there. So that's that. All right, and now on to the Boox platform. I'll be showing examples on Note Air, but Boox platform is identical and it functions exactly the same for Max Lumi, Note 3, and yeah, any of the devices, it works exactly the same. My links are not responding. I'm touching and doing things, but I can't really seem to navigate. Please help. This is not such a common problem on the Boox platform, but sometimes, occasionally, users will accidentally disable touch input on a PDF, and then you would have absolutely no responsiveness at all. It's like I can't really even change my page, I can't do anything, I can just exit my document. Well, the problem is that somewhere along the line, touch input has been disabled, and you can see by checking out this icon in the floating toolbar section, if the hand icon, the press icon, is crossed true, that means that the touch has been disabled. So all you need to do is simply re-enable the touch, and then you will have normal functionality restored and hyperlinks will work as you expect them to. I can't pinch to zoom, it's not working. The second one, which is very, very common on a Boox platform, is, hey, I opened up and I really, really like it and I can't really zoom, and it just maybe changes the page or does something really weird, and then I start tapping stuff and nothing happens. Well, yeah, for pinch to zoom to actually work properly, you need to enable it, because in the default PDF reader, it's disabled by default. You can enable it by simply tapping in the middle, but don't tap on any of the links. Just tap somewhere where it's empty in the middle section, middle vertical here, to get the menu. Once you get the menu, you go to these three dots here, which is additional menus, and you go to settings. Once you're in settings, you go all the way down to other settings, and you will have the second option here, enable pinch to zoom. So if I enable pinch to zoom and go all the way back, now when I'm back here, now the pinch to zoom will work as I expect it to. The grays look different on my device than what you show on your video. Rawr. Well, there's a couple of things that you really have to keep in mind, and that is that, unlike Remarkable, for example, the Boox device has extensive display control, which allows you to adjust the brightness, contrast levels, cap the lows, cap the highs, and all of these kind of things. In addition, it also interprets colors differently based on which speed mode the screen is in. So for example, if you notice this one here, to Sunday start, or the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, they are very, very light gray, but they are not white. They still have a color. However, as soon as I go here and switch to, for example, speed mode, all of that color is gone, and now we have white instead of gray. So that's a common one where people just say like, oh, the grays are gone, I just have only the darker colors. And of course, faster you go, more paler it will get. So that's one of the things that you most definitely have to keep in mind. The second thing that you have to keep in mind as well is that you have display control in two places on the Boox device. You have the system display control, which you get by simply swiping down, and then you have display control, and this one will affect the contrast. So I've seen people saying, hey, it's all black, I can't see anything. Well, that's most likely because your contrast is ramped up somewhere, and somewhere can be either the system display control, as I show it here. By the way, you also have the light color filter, which if it's bumped up, it will, as you can see, filter out all of the grayscale as well, and then everything will be white. So the first thing to check is to see what's the state of your display control. If the display control is at 00 and you're at the normal refresh speed and you still have issues, well, there's also one last place where you can take a look, which is in the formatting. So again, you just tap in the middle column in an empty section of the document, somewhere where there are no hyperlinks. You go to Format, and then you have Contrast section here. And in the contrast section, you can also see that I can enhance my dark colors all the way to the maximum, or, you know, I can put them all the way back and then everything is pale and there is no light gray colors. So the golden ratio is somewhere around the middle, if you want it to be roughly the same as other platforms. Of course, you can apply it, you know, just how much you want, because you can increase a little bit and then you get nicer kind of colors, and then you have the grayscale that you are looking for. So just remember that the colors or the grayscale interpretation on the Boox device is dependent on three factors and is basically affected by three factors. The first one is your screen refresh mode. The second one is the display control. And the third one is the contrast control in the formatting options of a PDF. So just make sure to check those out and to balance it out, and you'll be able to make it work the way you want it to. They're weird underlines under the boxes of calendars and some of the things in the My Daily Organizer. What is that? When that's the case, when you have weird lines all over the place, quote unquote, this is, on some devices it's a default, on some it's not. But basically what it's doing is it's underlining each hyperlink. Some users want that, some users don't want that. It could look weird. Since I shaped the MDO to have really, really good bounding boxes, these underlines shouldn't be too intrusive, but they are there. So if you want to get rid of them, this is also an option in the reader. Again, you tap in the middle to get the options. You go to other settings, then to global settings, and you find the option show hyperlink. So if I turn that off and now I go back, voila, they are gone, and now my display is clean and nice, and the hyperlinks will still work. It's just that they are not underlined. That's all. And finally, let's cover the Supernote. Actually, on a Supernote, there's only one question that popped out maybe 2 times, and that one is that the grays on my device look different than what I see on your video. What's going on? This is a very similar answer like with the Boox platform. You need to adjust the contrast control with a caveat. The Supernote platform unfortunately doesn't interpret the light grays as light grays. It cuts them off at some point. So the brightness, the white level is basically interpreting bright grays as white, and then it just displays them as white. And there's not much I can do about that at all. So that's a platform limitation. But if you want to adjust the contrast levels, you just go to these 3 dots or extra menu here. You go to contrast, and then you can adjust the range of the contrast. Now, of course, if you lower the contrast all the way to 0, you will see that the Sundays and all of these are almost gone, basically. So all of the colors are almost gone. But if you increase it, then you can increase it to, yeah, quite a lot. So let's say if we increase it all the way to the maximum, then you get very, very much darker colors, but you still, the light grays are simply cut out. So the light grays are interpreted as white before they have a chance to reach the contrast control itself, and that's something that the device does on its own, and yeah, can't really affect that, unfortunately. So that's something that you definitely have to keep in mind. But yeah, general contrast for the darker colors, you most definitely can adjust by simply adjusting the contrast in the extra options of the Supernote reader. All right, hopefully you find this video helpful. I also urge you to watch the other videos as well if you haven't, regarding the My Daily Organizer. They're all arranged in the My Daily Organizer playlist so that you can easily find them, so that you can find the answer to a question that you might have. I hope that this resource helps a lot of you, and please remember that the tips and tricks that I showed for the remarkable how to actually correctly trigger hyperlinks, they can, and to some degree, they do apply on the Boox and the Supernote as well. Now, neither of these 2 platforms are as sensitive to that as the Remarkable is, but they do apply to some effects. So keep that in mind. Even if you are not a Remarkable user, check it out, and yeah, just know how to interact with your device so that everybody's happy, that you're happy, and that the device is happy as well. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for using MDO. I'm really happy and grateful for all the positive comments and the support that I've received. It means a ton. And I'm super happy that you guys are liking it. Stay safe, stay healthy, and see you in the next video. Bye.